This video is sponsored by a new book from the YouTube channel carnadies.org. More about this at the end of the debate. Hello and welcome to Philosophy Vibe, the channel where we discuss and debate different philosophical ideas. Today we're going to be looking into an ethical thought experiment known as the trolley problem. Interesting. Now, the trolley problem is a hypothetical moral dilemma devised by the philosopher Philippa Foot. Essentially, the moral dilemma is around sacrificing one person in order to save a larger number of people. But the purpose of the thought experiment is to really get you to question your ethical principles and beliefs and think about how they would come into play if you were ever faced with a dilemma like this or similar. We are now going to run through the thought experiment and approach the dilemma with some ethical principles. Great, let's begin. Very well. So let's set the scene. There is a railway construction site. 5 engineers are working on a particular track, and adjacent there is a lone engineer working on another track. You are the site manager and controller sitting high up in a tower. One day, you spot a train in the distance shooting down the tracks at a phenomenal speed. This is a runaway train that is out of control. It just so happens it is heading down the track where the 5 engineers are working. Now, the engineers are drilling and hammering, they have noise-cancelling headphones on and their backs are turned. They have no idea the train is coming and they cannot hear it. Very shortly, this train will be flying through this track and will undoubtedly kill all 5 engineers. However, as the site manager and coordinator, you have a lever, and when pulled, this will redirect the train to another track, but this is the track with the one engineer. This is where the one engineer is working. Again, this engineer cannot hear the train and will not see it in time. So if you pull this lever, the train will definitely kill this engineer. And so here lies the dilemma. Do you do nothing and let 5 people die? Or do you intervene and directly cause the death of one person but save the lives of 5? And so here we have the trolley problem. Interesting thought experiment. Yes. So then let's discuss. What would you do? I would pull the lever and save the 5 people. So you would kill the one person? I would say I'm saving 5 people. Okay, so why have you made this choice? Well, I will take the utilitarian ethical perspective and say that the moral choice is that which generates the greatest good for the greatest number. In this situation, it is pretty straightforward, providing we do not complicate the scenario. So I'm assuming we know nothing about each of these 6 people. They are completely random. Yes, let's go with that. Fine, then it seems straightforward to me. I am saving 5 lives over 1. 5 is greater than 1. If 5 people die, then that is 5 times more death than if 1 person dies, so I would pull the lever. But think about this properly. By pulling the lever, you are actively causing the death of 1 person. This is not letting 1 person die. You are directly the cause of their death. You are effectively killing them. Does this not play a part in your moral decision making? Sure it does, but if I don't pull the lever, I'm letting 5 people die. Yes, but we are talking about action versus inaction. By letting the 5 people die, that is a case of inaction. Whereas you pulling the lever, that is a case of action, meaning you are responsible for the death of that person. But surely, if you can prevent the death of someone and you choose not to act, you are responsible for their death. If, for example, I walk past someone drowning in a lake and there's a life vest on the side and I just walk past and leave them, I don't throw them the life vest, I don't jump in to save them, I don't even call for help, surely this inaction is responsible for that person's death. So I would say yes, pulling the lever makes me responsible for the death of the 1. But not pulling the lever would make me responsible for the death of the 5. And so here I am, a very unfortunate position to be in, but here I am nonetheless. I can either be responsible for the death of 5 or of 1, and as a utilitarian, I will choose to save the 5 lives as it is greater than 1. That is what I believe. That is, I believe, the morally correct thing to do. I can also lean on the doctrine of double effect here. The doctrine says it is okay to do something morally good even if it has unintended bad side effects. So what I am doing is saving 5 people. Although I am causing the death of 1, this death is not intended. The intention is to save 5 people. The 1 engineer's death is just a bad side effect, but still, according to this doctrine, this is the morally right thing to do. Okay, I have to disagree here. Really? Yes. I will take a deontological position rather than a utilitarian position. A deontological position values duty very highly. We have a duty not to take a life. This duty is more important than any consequence or outcome. Our actions are the most important things. It is our actions that are inherently right or wrong, not the outcome. It is about what we do, not what the end result is. So, as a moral duty, I believe we should never actively take a life. We should never actively kill people. The philosopher Immanuel Kant would call this a categorical imperative. It is something we must always follow no matter what. Breaking a categorical imperative, no matter what the situation is always morally wrong. And so, if I pull the lever, I am killing. I am actively responsible for the death of a human being. I am taking a life. By killing someone, I am acting immorally. So I cannot pull the lever. As a deontological ethicist, as soon as I pull the lever, I am acting immorally, and so I would not pull the lever. So you will be responsible for the death of 5 people? I'm not responsible for their death, as I did not do anything to cause their death. But you did not act to save them. Yes, but if I did act to save them, then my actions would be directly causing a death. So inaction is not causing a death, action is. I completely disagree. If you refuse to pull the lever, I would say you are responsible for their deaths. Inaction bears responsibility just as much as action. Okay, so you agree pulling the lever is direct action that directly causes the death of 1. But you would still do this to save 5 people over the 1. Yes, I would. Fine. Let me change the hypothetical scenario slightly. This was brought forward by the philosopher Judith Thomson. Similar situation. 5 engineers are working on the railway line and there is a runaway train. However, this time there is no track you can divert the train to. This time you need to stop the train. As the train approaches, there is a large engineer working next to you, and you know if you push this big engineer onto the tracks, his body will definitely stop the train and will save the 5 people. But of course, he will die. So, what do you do now? We are not talking about a lever here. We are talking about actively pushing a human being on the train tracks in order to save 5 people. Are you still holding on to your utilitarian principles? No, wait, this is different. You are asking me to actually kill someone here. Yes, but why is that different from pulling the lever? Because with the lever, I didn't directly have contact with the 1 engineer. I just pulled a lever. I feel a bit removed from that death. That doesn't matter though. You agreed pulling the lever was a direct action that caused the death of the 1 engineer. So what difference does it make what that direct action is, whether it's pulling a lever or pressing a button or pushing someone? Because the lever just redirects the train, and it is the train that actually kills them, not the action of pulling a lever. That's not a good argument. A push by itself wouldn't kill you either. It's just that the push redirects the position of the engineer. It is still the train that kills them. Okay, I suppose to be a true utilitarian, I would have to push the big engineer in front of the train and save the 5 people. That's a very bad thing to do. I can see that, but I am still saving the lives of 5 people. Surely that is the morally right thing to do. I can also put this down to the doctrine of double effect. Killing of the 1 person is not intended. The intention is to stop the train. Their death is just a bad side effect. So according to the doctrine, this is still the morally right thing to do. Interesting. Okay, based on this, I'm going to go slightly off the trolley problem and give you another hypothetical dilemma, but I think it's still very relevant. Go for it. Imagine we have 5 people that all need emergency organ transplants or else they will die. Do you find, kill and take the organs of one innocent person to save the lives of 5? Okay, this is different. Why? Because now we're on to actually murdering people. So what? It's still an action to save 5 people, right? You were willing to actively pull a lever and kill one person to save 5. You were willing to actively push one person in front of a train to save 5. Why then would you not kill one person and take their organs to save 5? Surely this is allowed by the doctrine of double effect, and surely the utilitarian principle would say it is the morally right thing to do. So I ask you, in this hypothetical ethical dilemma, would you kill one person and take their organs to save the lives of 5 people? When you put it like this, no, I wouldn't. Okay, so I would argue that you are not a true utilitarian. You do agree that some actions should always be followed or never permitted by a sense of duty, because they are right and wrong in and of themselves. So it doesn't matter what the outcome or the consequences or the results are. We should never take a life out of duty, not because of net worth or utility. No, that's not the case. I wouldn't kill an innocent person for their organs, but I would say this would still be following the utilitarian principle. I do not think anyone wants to live a life where they could be legally kidnapped and killed for their organs at any time. This would cause so much fear and anxiety among the whole population that it would, on a holistic scale, cause more pain and suffering. And so, as a utilitarian, we should not be permitted to kill innocent people for their organs, lest we want to live in a horrible society full of panic, fear and anxiety. Good point. This video is brought to you by a new book on the philosophy of economics from the YouTube channel carnades.org. The book, Are All Lives Equal? Why Cost-Benefit Analysis Values Rich Lives More and How Philosophy Can Fix It, critiques the economic assumptions that lead governments to value the lives and preferences of the rich more than the poor. Now, you might be thinking that the philosophy of economics would be quite a challenging read. However, the great thing about this book is that it is accessible to anyone, even if you don't have a background in philosophy or economics. The ideas of this book are made clear through the use of fun and engaging thought experiments, making the arguments easy to follow and to really get you thinking about how we approach our economics and how we value lives. You can learn more about the book or check out Carnades' YouTube channel through the links in the description. But that's all the time we have for now. Thank you for watching, we hope you enjoyed the vibe, and if you want the script to this video, it is included in our ethics ebook available on Amazon, links to that are below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and if you have some thoughts on the trolley problem, do leave them in the comment section. Thank you all, and we look forward to seeing you all soon.